Excessive working hours are often associated with stress and are clearly harmful to healthy work-life balance. So, what is the current working time situation? Let's take a look at the shortcomings of working time in the following videos. After recent videos, we can see that undercutting and overtime is one of the common problems today. So in order to better understand how the working time element is regulated by the laborer, we will find out together with the presentation of book 1 below.
Today's our revision on the topic of working time, and the content of the presentation consists of three main parts. Part 1 is regulation on the working time in Vietnam labor cost. Part 2 is comparing working time in Vietnam with other countries in the world. And Part 3 is actual application of the law on working time in Vietnam. We will first come to the concept of the working time, based on European Union law directive defines working time as any period during which the worker is working as the employer disposal in carrying out his activity or duty in accordance with national law or practice. According to Vietnam Labor Codes 2019, working time is divided into 5 articles. The firstly, Article 105, that is the normal working hours. No more than 8 hours in a day and no more than 48 hours in a week. On the other hand, an employee has the right to determine the daily or weekly working hours and inform the employee accordingly. The state encourages employers to apply 40-hour work week. Secondly, the Article 106, that is the working hour at night. It is a period from the 22 p.m. to 6 a.m. And thirdly, Article 107, that is the overtime work. It is the duration of work performed as any other time than during normal working hours. As indicated in the law, collective bargaining agreement or internal labor regulation of an employer. An employer has the right to request an employee to work overtime when on of the condition in Law 2, Article 107 of this law. Besides, an employer must not request an employee to work overtime exceeding 300 hours in 1 year in the fields work and in the cases in Law 3, Article 108 of this law. And finally, Article 108, that is the overtime working in special cases. In the following cases, an employer has the right to request any employee to work overtime on any day with the limits on the overtime hour. As defined in the Article 107 of this labor codes, and the employees must not refuse in 2 cases specified in Article 108 of the code.
Everyone, in the following, I will talk about some subjects to the special chapters based on the provision of Article 116 of the Labor Code 2019. People who do jobs of a special nature are workers in the transport sector, oil and gas exploitation at sea or work at seas, the use of radiation and nuclear techniques, research and application of event, science and technology. Not only that, there are also people who are drivers working in underground mines or seasonal production jobs, having to work 24 hours a day. In addition to to the jobs mentioned above, there are also a number of jobs of special nature mentioned in Article 68, including prevention of natural disaster, fire and epidemics, jobs in the field of sport, producing crops, biological vaccines, operation, maintenance and repair of gas distribution pipelines and gas works. Next is the content about working and resting time of people with social nature of work. According to the provisions of Article 105 of the Labor Code, employees who work under normal office hours from 6 hours or more in a day will be entitled to at least 30 consecutive of break between hours. If you work at night, you will be given at least 45 consecutive minutes of break. For sick leave, employees will have to take at least 12 hours before the start of the new shift. As for quickly leave, employees are entitled to at least 24 consecutive hours of break or at least 4 days off in a month. In case the employee's quickly day coincide with a public holiday, the employees will be entitled to compensatory leave on the next working day. And here is your presentation, Khánh Yang.
Hello everyone. Next, I would like to compare working time between Vietnam and other countries around the world. Looking at chart 1, we can see that the average number of hours worked has decreased significantly for workers in the early industrializing economies the past 150 years. By 1870, workers in most countries such as Germany, the United States, and Australia were working more than 3,000 hours a year or 60 to 70 hours per week. But we can see that today, the harsh working hours have been cut in half. For example, in Germany, annual working hours fell by nearly 60% from 3,284 hours in 1870 to 1,354 hours in 2017. In addition, based on table 1, we can see the average working hours in Vietnam also tended to decrease, but the decrease was not clear and were still different from other countries in the region as well as in the world. Moreover, the information also shows that in countries with early industrializing economies, the average number of working hours per year decreased more steadily than in countries with late industrializing economies. Due to the application of innovative products, the application of achievement and solid economic resources and advanced production technique. In the coming years, with the complicated development of the market economy, the demand for low-cost, high-skilled labor requires the challenge of reducing working hours, increasing income and stabilizing living standard high, but requires workers to have increasingly higher professional qualification, creating good product value to be able to meet the needs of the market.
To continue presenting the content, I would like to talk about the situation of application of long working time in Vietnam. Firstly, the working time at enterprise will usually last about 8 hours one day and have 1 hour lunch break, working day from Monday to Friday. For tourism travel business in Vietnam, the operating time is also based on Clause 1, Article 105 Labor Code 2019 about the normal working time. Next, we will move to the working time of position in the travel business. Looking at the table, we can see working time is divided into 2 columns. One is office hour and other is time is not fixed. And about time is not fixed, I will explain more about the two operators. It can easily understand that in peak season they need to work overtime and sales staff, that is especially for collaborator. In general, tourism travel business in Vietnam are comply with the provision of Labor Code 2019 of state, comply with the implementation of working within the prescribed hour. However, every time during the peak tourist season, some positions of the company have to work overtime to meet the service needs of people and solve a rising problem. And secondly, we will move to the restaurant, and the shift in the restaurant will be divided into according to the business purpose, and can divide it into 3 shifts, that is morning shift, evening shift, break shift. And for break shift, it can divide it into a short time and usually lasts about 4 or 5 hours each shift. And each position have different working hours between chef, waiter, technician, cashier, accountant, bar staff, and so on. And next we will move to the hotel. And the working shift in the hotel also divided into 3 shifts, but have a different with restaurant. Each shift lasts about 8 hours and serve all day. Looking at the table, we can see that some positions are divided into shifts. Some have flexible working hours, and others can still work during office hours. In general, it can be seen that when compared to the working time of tourism, travel business, for hospitality, there is a certain difference. While business only work on business hour in demand, hospitality type have flexible working hour in a day and will be often ran in shift rather than working hour. And sometimes there are positions that do not comply with the Labor Code 2019 in terms of average working hour per day, and they will often have to work more to able to meet the need of visitors every weekend during peak tourist season. And next we'll move to the benefit of working shift. That is ensure employee health and work performance, and ensure the smooth progress of the work, and avoid the situation of many jobs but lack people. And finally, that is saving the cost for personnel. And about the disadvantage, that is shorten of people in some shift, and there are some potential effects of employee body. Thank you so much.
Continue to the presentation of my team. I will present about the inequality about working time. The first is in business. The first problem is using working hours to trust themselves. The situation of employees cutting up working hours to do their hour work has become a form of corruption, named time corruption, and manifests in many different forms. Occasionally, passing by a coffee shop or restaurant, any supermarket in the city on working time, it is not difficult to see employees who are stealing time. They occasionally go shopping, go eat, occasionally sitting. Each year stay up now but still intimidation breaking the rule. Second problem is volunteering to work overtime. The situation of employees staying overtime can be easily seen in the office building around 7 to 8 p.m. while most of the employees have gone home, but there are still some office still light up even though the working time ends early. Third problem is probation period extension. Probation is the initial assessment of a new employee ability to work before signing a formal working contract with an enterprise. Depending on the nature and requirement of the job, the working time can last from 1 to 6 months, and the probationary salary is at least 85% of the office salary. However, there are still some businesses that deliberately extend the probationary period of employee for a reason that they do not meet the job requirement. So they cannot sign labor contract managed to pay lower wages than prescribed. The fourth problem is overtime is not regulated. According to the law, overtime is not compulsory, and the overtime must be based on the agreement of the employer and the employee. However, in order to earn extra income or make a good investment on the business, many employees accept overtime throughout the day, including holiday. Next up is working time in the restaurant and hotel industry. Restaurant and hotel belong to the service industry group, so the job of the restaurant and hotel industry is not fixed according to the office hour. Instead, it is working in non-fixed shift like morning, afternoon, evening, and set for of service industry. There are no day off and during peak hour or session such as weekend or holiday. The employee operating capacity must be double or triple compared to the normal. From the above problem, we will give some solutions to improve the efficiency of the implementation of the working time regime at the enterprise as follows. Firstly, on the stage, labor inspector at the Bradford Labor should conduct regular inspection and supervision of the implementation of the working time regime as enterprise. Moreover, labor inspector full-time trade union needs to regularly track the situation of the implementation of the working time regime at the place they are in charge from the business. Firstly, the company needs to strictly comply with the law on working time, actively participate in opinion and formulation of relevant law. Secondly, regularly try in implement scientific working time at the company, create physical facility so that employee can perform well working hours at the company. From employee at the company. Firstly, employee needs to better grasp and implement basic regulation on their right and obligation in labor regulation. And secondly, they should understand the basic provision on their right and obligation in the labor regulation should not for economic benefits, but in order the shortcoming of the company leadership. Only then can protect their right and interests. In conclusion, labor is necessary and important human activity. It has to create material well to feed people, as bring spiritual values to enrich life. However, human labor is not indefinite, but it will also be extracted with a reasonable working and everything regime. From the result of above analysis, we can see that each country and its industry has different regulation on working time. Moreover, the nature of each job is different. Therefore, the regulation of a reasonable working time will have a significance in improving productivity as well as labor qualities.